Well, the first time I tried to run ads, I got blocked and shut down, and then I wasn't able to run ads. So, how in the world are you doing it so consistently? And the answer was paid ads. So, it's a patient game, though. You got to be patient.
Are we rich yet?
Welcome to Are We Rich Yet? I'm Colton Havens, and I'm here with Rocio Arajave. And this show is for business owners who want funnels that convert, offers that make sense, and ads that actually produce results.
And each episode, we break down one real strategy you can use to build more predictable revenue without wasting money or chasing the new shiny object of the week.
And today we're talking about the mindset shift required before you start running ads to your business. This is where we all start. If you make it to the end of this video, you're going to hopefully have the confidence to actually start turning on your ads today. That would be the ultimate goal for this, so you can get control of your business, because at the end of the day, you want control of how many people see you, when they can buy from you, and if you're going to have predictable revenue this month or this year. Paid ads is the answer to those questions. So, Rocio, your opinions on this topic, what are they?
Well, I think that the mindset, and I think the first thing that everybody has is fear, right? It's like I am afraid of spending money and losing my money and not seeing any return, and just I'm out of money and now I cannot do it again.
Yep,
Right?
that could happen. It could happen if you do it wrong, but you listen to this podcast, so you're already doing it better than most.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your ad spend.
Okay, that's not fair. Not fair.
Let's talk about my first time spending
Yeah.
money.
Let's start there. Since the beginning of when we switch from only organic, because Colton was known as the TikTok organic guy, right? And before that, he was doing YouTube stuff, right? You were doing YouTube, and then you move into TikTok, and you were the TikTok guy for organic for a while, and then you move into the ads. And I want to know, first of all, what took you so long to start ads? And then what was that epiphany that make you jump into ads? Like, okay, I'm gonna try it.
Well, the first time I tried to run ads, I got blocked and shut down, and then I wasn't able to run ads. Okay, because I'm like, here's how you make $1,000 in an hour, right? And I was doing affiliate marketing way back 10 years ago, and I got blocked. Okay, so then I never really even bothered to look at it again. Hadn't really thought about it much. And then I went into the organic world, and I moved from organic to paid because I saw somebody talking about how they can predict how much money they're going to make next year and how much money they're going to make next month. And I was like, how in the world do you know? Because I've always played it, even in my photography business. When I played business, I played it with what do I have right now in my bank account? That's what I can make my moves on. That's what I pay my bills with, what I can eat. Anything that's not there doesn't really count. Okay. Even though, I'm working forward for more sales and all that stuff, but I never counted on like spending money today because I knew I was going to have something tomorrow, um, because I didn't know. And really, it was just understanding that you can have predictability with it. So I was like, let me try it. And I spent my first $1,000, and I thought I spent a fortune. And I go back to the guy. I'm like, look at my little $1,000 I spent. Tell me, is it pretty? Is it pretty? Did I do it right? And the reality is, in paid ads, I mean, that's not a lot of money, especially if I'm selling something that's $1,000. So that was my first realization and my first jump into it. Is I wanted the control, I wanted the predictability, I wanted to be certain because they were so certain, like certain. I mean, he was selling businesses in 55 months predictably over and over and again in different industries. And I'm like, dude, you can sell a business, you can build it, sell a thing, and sell it so much that someone wants to buy the entire thing. And that's the ultimate sell. And I was like, wow, I never even thought about that. And this dude is doing it every 3 years to a new business, and he's taking it from zero to like $55 million a year. And I was like, how in the world are you doing it so consistently? And the answer was paid ads. So that's when I was like, hey, but I put on my big boy pants. Don't be a little bitch. And I just took my credit card out and I started spending money. And I think the biggest, scariest thing is when people hear about ads, they only hear massive numbers.
Yeah.
They only hear $10,000 days, $100,000 weeks. And you don't have to start there. You can start spending $10 a day and you will just see an increase in consistency with your lead flow, with your traffic to your site, with your phone calls, your DMs start picking up, even with just $10. So that was kind of like my big realization.
Yeah, I definitely can relate that to that, and also saw the journey, right? Between going from the organic, which again comes with that unpredictability because you don't know if you're going viral or if not, if you're getting views or not. And to be able to have money consistently, it doesn't come from organic. Can start with organic, but eventually you need to move to paid ads to consistently scale, right? The way that Colton was showing that saying, hey, I know that next month I'm gonna do this amount of money, sorry, is because you know how your ads are performing and you can project if I keep consistent my ad spend to let's say $100 a day, right? I know that I'm gonna make X amount of money next month because I can see my numbers.
The important part of this is time frame also to understand. You have to have the right time frame in mind. You're
Uh,
not going to be certain for at least your first 90 days to 6 months.
this is actually, yeah, this is one of the biggest mind shifts. Yes, yes.
You have
Please.
to understand that like as soon as day 1, you still don't know shit. Day 1 you still don't know nothing, okay? It's still not predictable for next year or day 1. Let's be clear about that.
Mhm.
You need 90 days, 6 months of consistent data and tweaking. And then from there, or even your first year is a great place to start, where you like, okay, I have my predictabilities for that. But I think at 90 days to 6 months is when you start seeing predictability
Yeah.
of that, right? Because the first 2 months, 3 months, maybe you're still tweaking stuff. You're spending money to get people to the page, but you're still changing the systems. You're still dealing with delivery. You got customer service issues. You got expectation issues. You got problems that you didn't know you were going to have that are good problems because you have buyers, right?
Yeah.
But you have to fix those before you scale even more to get to that outcome, right? So I think time frame is important to understand that you don't, when you start spending money, you need 90 days. And that also depends on how much you spend. If you spend $1,000 in the 90 days, you still don't know. You
Yeah.
still don't actually have enough data. You didn't spend enough money to know what's what.
Okay, so that's a good point. So it's not only be willing to spend the money on ads, right? But also managing expectations, right? Not only the time frame, because Colton said, okay, honestly, 90 days in when we actually see, okay, now I can predict the behavior of what I'm selling, right? With my paid ads, but only, but also sending the traffic to the right offer and to the right website and knowing that those conversion numbers, right? And I'm going to give you an example. If you a lot of I see a lot of errors when people are starting to spend money on ads, say, oh yeah, I started spending money on ads just to grow my followers. Okay, where is the monetization there? You have to have a clear goal of what do you actually wanna achieve. If you actually want buyers for a course, do not pay traffic to a free PDF that doesn't have the journey, right? If behind that free PDF you don't have the next page is actually selling the course or sending them to a webinar or something, if it is just the PDF, do not spend money on the PDF, right? Especially if you're dealing with low budgets because you don't have the time, right? We're talking about how much time it takes from a free person to actually convert it to a paying person, right? Again, managing the expectation of where you're sending that traffic. So if you're sending the traffic to an actual page where they can give you money, Now you have the potential to recover that money back. And that's when you can start reinvesting that money into that machine and keep your ads on. That's how people don't go broke when they spend money on ads. But it's all about the mindset of, if I'm willing to spend money on ads, I need to send them to somewhere that they can purchase from me. Not to grow an audience, not to become famous, not to have vanity metrics. Is to actually where there can be an exchange of goods, right? That they can actually pay you.
Well, one caveat there, I'll push back because you might have just said it because you were riffing, but you do pay ads to grow an audience. You do want to do that because you can grow an audience on demand and retarget them with the offer that says, "Hey, I know you've already watched a video of mine. Now you can buy something." And that's the strategy that I use. That's game changer, right? So I do spend money to build an audience. I have hundreds of thousands of people at this point, and I have way more control than I ever had with my millions and millions of views that I've generated organically. So it's a
Yeah.
patient game though. You got to be patient. Like
And
you only make a change like once every 3 days or once a week or once a month, and then you
and
wait.
that's a good point. So think about the goal, right? Because your strategy, again, which we can go deeper into another episode of your strategy, but the strategy is grow an audience and then have another set of ads to pitch to that audience to buy. So it's a two-step process, but still the same goal is, I'm gonna send them to somewhere that they can buy from me. Okay. So yes, you can still do that as long as you have a goal of, after I grow my audience, I can send them somewhere, right? What I'm talking about is, like, I don't want people to start spending money just to grow a follower count on on social media, for example, you know? So very different. But again, mindset, going back to the core topic of this episode, is the mindset of, if I want to scale and want predictable money, you need to move from organic to ads. That's number one. And also number two is, let's make sure that, where are you paying traffic to, there's a way that these people can make, that can give you money. It's not to download a free thing that you don't have any continuity there. Make sure that you're actually collecting emails, so at least you can follow up on an email sequence, right? Like, all of these things, you need to have the mindset that, I need to make sure that if I'm spending money to acquire Colton, I need to make sure that I can talk to Colton in another way, because I don't have guarantees that Colton is going to buy the first time, but maybe through an email or maybe through a retargeting ad, he can buy the second or third time that he hears about me.
All
Does that
right.
make
So that's right. Yeah, makes sense. In short, don't be a little bitch. Just start spending some money. Okay? $10 a day, just start. Okay? And then make sure you have a place that they can actually buy something from you, and that can literally just be a phone call. Right? So if you need someone, you can send them straight to a Calendarly link. You can do add to Calendarly link and book calls that way. Okay? But you have to have something to sell, or else none of it makes sense to begin with at all.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's it for today. If this episode helped you see your funnels or your offers more clearly, make sure you subscribe so you don't mix the next one. If you want professionals to look at your sales funnels, your ads, your marketing copy, figure out why it's not working or how to scale it further, make sure you go to launchesandconversions.com. You can book a call with Rocio and I, and we can take a look at what you're doing. But since you listened to this entire podcast, you now can ask the question, are we rich yet?
And that's it for today. If this saved you time, money, or frustrations, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And if you want our help dialing this for your business, just go to launchesandconversions.com, book a call with us, and either Colton and I will look at your stuff and help you get better results. That's where we're going to go deeper. Okay. So see you on the next episode.